What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Fantasy Game Show presented by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my co-hosts, John, Luke, and Josh. And Davis is joining us today as well.
Oh, man.
Off to a hot start.
I'm sorry. That was
I know.
Perfect.
I hit the wrong button.
You went off your cam when you sneezed.
Yeah, I was trying to mute. I was trying to mute it.
Did we somehow sneeze, like simultaneous sneeze? But I actually muted.
I saw JL sneeze, but then heard Davis's. That was
I heard a sneeze
so
in my
insane.
headphones, and it freaked me out because I was about to sneeze.
They tell you it's
contagious,
contagious, right? So I hit the wrong button. I tried to mute myself. I know it's
That was
loud.
awesome. That was awesome.
Our sneezing guest who's joining us today is none other than Davis Peng at Peng's Picks FF on Twitter. He's a writer for Fantasy Six Pack, the king of best ball, and you can find him on the Sports Me app as well. What's up, Davis?
Hey, thank you for having me, guys. I'm so glad to be back on the show for the second time.
Hell yeah.
Hopefully, I can make it double digits.
Ooh.
We'll get you there. We'll get you
like
there,
Brady. I'm gonna get the GOAT. I'm gonna get 7.
There we go.
No one's gotten
man,
7.
You got some work
before.
to do.
No
You
one's
got some
gotten
work
7.
to do.
I got a lot to do.
We got some people in the chat. People are nervous about our desserts tier list today, guys. Anthony said, wow, desserts. This has serious potential to be as big as a debacle as the Grapefruit Massacre of March 2021. Hashtag never forget. Hashtag
Was it in March?
At the actual date, does he?
Anthony went back and found whenever we apparently disparaged all of his favorite fruits. And Craig in here saying, do not desert the dessert tiers. We need this. And Jay Wall in here saying, let's get it. We got Troy in the chat too. Squad, welcome in.
Squad.
And Anthony in here saying, Davis is amazing. All caps.
He was 100% right. It was March 11th.
It was March 11th. I knew Anthony.
I'm just glad that's not a question that we have to answer. Like, when was our dessert debacle?
It doesn't feel that long ago. If I had to guess, I would say like June. Like, wow. This year.
Unfathomable.
March. Holy shiza.
Shiza.
We got Troy in here saying jail always has the worst takes. Just letting us know. And Swamp Hoodat, welcome in. He has a question for us. Which 2 running backs should I start this week? Hines, Tyson Williams, James Robinson, Mike Davis, and Latavius Murray. Josh, which of these 2 running backs would you start this week?
I would start James Robinson and Mike Davis. Lock it in. Lock it in, Swamp. Lock it in before anyone else says anything, because they're gonna try to change your mind. But it's Mike Davis and James Robinson. All right.
I'm in agreement about James Robinson. The second one's a bit trickier for me. John Luke, what do you think?
Definitely Mike Davis for me. And then I'm trying to decide between Tyson Williams and James Robinson. I would probably go with
James Robinson.
Yay!
Mike Davis does have a tough matchup, though. I will tell you that.
That's
Tampa
what
Bay.
I was thinking. I think Hines and James Robinson for me. I'm starting Naeem Hines and James Robinson. After seeing what Tampa Bay did to Ezekiel Elliott, I'm not interested in starting Mike Davis against them. Davis, what about you? Which of these 2 running backs would these start?
I'm gonna say Tyson Williams and Hines. I think that I'm gonna be the Broncos did really well last week, and Tampa scares me too. Like, they did so much to people's running back game, and James Robinson had really bad touches. Like, he's hated, man. He's really hated. So give me Tyson Williams. Give me Hines.
I don't hate him.
Yeah, they don't. But the guy that's coaching him does. Just give me those 2 guys for receptions, right? I mean, Hines had like 60 yards receiving last week, so that's pretty good. Like, as a floor.
And that's how he's going to have to make his living going forward, I think, is the receiving game, which I do think is repeatable. I think he's going to get that throughout the year, but I could see some inconsistent games here and there.
Yeah, I think that's just the way I would go for that.
I did not see Naeem Hines in here. I just, for some reason, skipped right to Tyson Williams. I would probably start Tyson Williams and probably Hines.
James Robinson. What?
Changes your mind.
James Robinson. James Robinson is definitely.
Say it, and he's like, all right,
we sneeze together, also, we pick together. All right, guys.
To continue this question, you can flex 2 as well. So he needs to start 2 running backs and then flex 2. So those same running backs: Devonta Smith, Marvin Jones, Tim Patrick. Devonta Smith for sure,
and
then
no-brainer.
And then Marvin Jones, I think. No, actually, the receivers I think are a toss-up. Devonta Smith for sure. To Patrick is
now we're getting all mixed up.
And I would probably kind of hit in the mix.
I would probably go Devonta Smith and then James Robinson, Nyheim Hines, and Tyson Williams is where I would go, I think. But I think it's a little bit of a coin flip with some of those running backs. We got Scott in the chat saying that all of his comments from earlier are gone. He was in here watching the show from yesterday and commenting, and they've all disappeared. Rick Butts in the chat, word up. And Roto Heat Sully saying, Mom always says better late than never. I don't know if you're referring to us or if you are late, but I completely agree with it.
Mama said.
I am Dallas letting us know that he benched Mike Davis this week, Swamp. So there's someone else who benched Mike Davis.
I love Davis's, but not that one.
And Anthony's saying he filled up his gas tank today, so he feels poor yet unstoppable. So he is ready for today's show. One more question before we dive into some news and then play our game. Anthony wants to know Devonta Smith or Kareem Hunt this week.
Devonta Smith.
I like Devonta Smith, man. I'm kind of a Hunt hater, but to an extent I'm a Hunt hater, but he did have value last week, and he looked good. I have to admit, he actually looked really good. But give me.
I'm a Hunt hater as well, but yeah, it's Smith for me.
I'm not a Hunt hater. I'm going to go Kareem Hunt.
We sneezed together. What happened, dude?
I think Kareem Hunt's safer.
I don't know.
So if you need the safer option, I would go Kareem Hunt. But Devonta Smith is that upside play. He could catch another big touchdown. So I'll go Kareem Hunt unless you need that upside, and then go Devonta Smith. Yeah. Okay, guys, before we jump into the news, I want to remind everyone watching, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Front Yard Fantasy. It means a ton to us, and you can make sure you never miss another one of these episodes again. And Josh, with that being said, I'm going to pass it off to you to go through some quick notes.
Quick news and notes kind of thing going on. We got some things happening around the league, and I want to let you guys know what that is. Will Fuller, he was not seen at practice on Thursday. Guys, I know he missed week 1 due to suspension. This is a little concerning for me. Jalen Waddle, put him in your lineups. This is what it tells me. If anyone disagrees, let me know. Everyone agrees. All right, Jamison Crowder, he was activated off the COVID list, so this means nothing to me, really. It just means I'm not starting Elijah Moore, but I wasn't starting him anyway.
I fell for that trap.
Yeah, you started some Elijah Moore.
In DFS I did, and it sucked.
Yeah.
And it sucked.
Yeah. Hey, DFS, hey, the upside was there, right?
He caught a pass for negative yards, and that was it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on then. The Ravens, there's like 3 things revolving around the Ravens going on throughout the day. Devonta Smith was promoted to the 53-man roster. I mean, Devonta Freeman. Hey, listen, they have the same first name. Let me have it, guys. John Harbaugh suggested that every running back will play this week. So I don't know what that means for Tyson Williams, but I kind of envision him getting more carries. And Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator for the Ravens, said that the days of one back playing the whole game are over. And this was kind of in response of him getting asked about the second half and why Tyson Williams lost carries to Latavius Murray. So, guys, are you nervous does this make you nervous for Tyson Williams at all? Peng, what do you think?
I think it does a little bit. I was kind of worried about Williams anyways from the get-go. He was already a 3rd or 4th string running back coming into the season. So he obviously wasn't talented enough to be the number 1 or the 2 or the 3. So it does scare me. But I think as long as they're going to run the ball 20, 30 times. If he gets 12, 15 touches a game, that's fine. That's a flex play. And it costed you nothing to pick him up. So you're getting a free flex play either way. It's no James Robinson, but it's still relevant.
So, hey, you're saying Tyson Williams is a flex play going forward. This actually does concern me a little bit going forward. If he's not getting at least 12 carries a game, I don't know if I want to start him. Do you guys, Simon or JL, do you disagree? Or you're fine with Tyson Williams?
I would play him in a flex. I am definitely worried about this. He's not going to get the same amount of opportunities he got last week for the rest of the season, in my opinion, but he's still, I think he looked good. So I can't imagine them just
he looked a lot better than Murray. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm starting Tyson Williams. This isn't new for the Ravens playing multiple running backs. That's not how they've ever operated. And we were plenty excited about J.K. Dobbins. We were plenty excited about Gus Edwards. I'm still excited about Tyson Williams and willing to start him.
And don't forget about the throwing running back, Lamar Jackson. So that's good.
Yeah, there you go.
The throwing running back. All right, let's just keep moving. Barkley is unlikely to be unleashed in week 2. That's tonight against the football team. So I'm still starting Barkley, but temper your expectations. I feel like you still need to start him, right? Does anyone disagree there?
No.
I'm not starting.
And then, oh, you're not? You're not? So listen. Let me throw out someone real fast. Let's say Tyson Williams or Saquon Barkley. You're starting Barkley, right?
Barkley there, but I'm talking
Okay,
Melvin Gordon tier. I would actually start ahead of him.
So Miles
just because
Gaskin,
the matchups are better,
for instance.
Yeah, Miles Gaskin maybe a little bit less just because of what he's facing this week. But I would consider maybe starting him there too. Like Melvin Gordon has an easy matchup against the Jags. Like I'm fine with that.
I'm still starting him. He's still a top 20 running back for me. So put that into perspective. The 49ers did claim former Ravens running back Trenton Canning off of waivers. So the 49ers just keep adding guys. And Josh Jacobs is still not at practice today. I think he's going to play. He played last week. He kept coming out. So it's a little concerning throughout the season. He's got something going on with his toe ankle. But that's all the news I had. There we go. Let's get into it, boys.
You did it.
I did.
Nice. Just want to hit this. Bondi said OBJ popping off this week. That is doubtful because the last I heard OBJ was not playing this week. That will be hard. Bench him. He is unlikely to pop off without playing on the field this week. And Rick saying, Josh, great shirt. You guys got to coordinate next time. And Sully as well. All of you together are going to coordinate. I am Dallas says, who would y'all sit for Mike Williams, McLaurin, Higgins, Antonio Brown, or DJ Moore?
Mike Williams for me. Mike Higgins.
Yeah, it's Williams for me, but it's close. Who would you sit out of all of those?
Mike Williams?
He wants to start Williams. Would you sit any of those guys to start Mike Williams?
I read that.
I mean, the closest one, I guess, is DJ Moore. I'm playing these guys over Mike Williams still. All these guys.
I think I'm playing all of them too.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one, maybe McLaurin. I don't like Thursday games. Never have. Short week. Bradbury, all that crap. People say the Giants are bad, but their defense is actually solid. I think they said the over-under for their their spread for all of last season, even this season, besides the season. I think they got the majority in the spread. That means they kept all their games close and low scoring. So it's something to think about.
Yeah, if you're going to bench one of those, I agree. It's McLaurin, but I would just roll with those four and keep Mike Williams on the bench for the time being is what I would do. Scott in here agreeing about the Ravens running back situation. They don't play one back. No Ravens running back has topped 67% snap share since week 5 of 2017.
Yeah.
67% of the snaps for a running back's a lot.
Yeah,
I see some more in
general.
I see some more questions in the chat. We're going to get to those, but we need to go ahead and get started on our tiers list. I want to remind everyone that after this at 4:15 Eastern time, we will also be hosting Fantasy Football Office Hour. So if you have any additional questions for us, something we couldn't get to, make sure you stop by there, throw it in there. We are in there exclusively to answer your questions for 45 minutes to an hour. So make sure you stop by with any of your fantasy questions. We'll gladly keep answering them during this, but we are going to be available just for questions starting at 4:15 Eastern time as well. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, guys, if we can get started on our first tier list. The very first tier list we're doing is week 2 quarterbacks. Week 2 quarterbacks. So we've got this broken down into must starts, great starts, solid starts, emergency starts, and bench starts. What I want to do here is there's got to be some guys that we all agree need to go and must start. I'll name Patrick Mahomes. Do we all agree he's a must start?
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray, must start, right?
I would, those are automatics. Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady's an automatic.
Tom Brady's against Atlanta.
Yeah.
You better be freaking starting him. I'm going to just go ahead and throw out Josh Allen, Russell Wilson, and Lamar Jackson. They're all must starts.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Not start them? You got to start those guys, right?
Russell Wilson and Lamar Jackson, maybe we could have a conversation about, but tell me if you disagree, guys.
Does anyone not have them in the must start category? Nope.
No.
That's where it kind of
okay. I think this is
ends for me, but
there's one or two I would put in the must start category, but I don't think they're going to be consensus. So we can start from here. Davis, we'll start with you. Of the remaining quarterbacks, which one of these guys would you like to talk about first?
Oh God, give me Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. Where are you tiering him?
He's a great start. He's probably even a borderline must start for me. He looked good. He runs. He's got good weapons. It looks like that's a good looking offense. It really is, and I'm happy to be a part of it on all of my teams that I have Hurts.
Are you are you putting him in the must start or the great start category?
I put him in the great start. I actually am considering putting Josh Allen in the great start myself. I didn't like what I saw last week.
Me either.
Okay, then we could talk about that, moving him down. Jalen Hurts, I'm completely agreeing with you, Davis. The only thing keeping him from a must start for me is that matchup against the 49ers should be a much tougher defense, but I don't worry too much about it. He's still going to be a great start this week. So I have him in the great start category as well. John Luke, where are you putting Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, he's a great start for me as well. Actually, I fully agree with my sneeze buddy over here. Yeah, he's a great start, borderline must start for me.
Josh, where are you putting Jalen Hurts?
The only reason he's not a must start is because, again, we saw him play against a weak defense last week. I want to see it against a decent defense, and he's going to get
49ers are ranked 29th against fantasy quarterbacks, so it isn't
after one
this year.
Yeah, it isn't the worst matchup.
They're good at the D line, but their secondary was kind of weak. What we saw last week, their secondary got toasted like Quintus Cephas. Like, come on.
Yeah, the Niners aren't a prolific defense in general.
You can't look at the rankings after week 1, in my opinion. It just there was a lot of garbage time. They were dominating Jared Goff and the Lions.
Yeah, but coming into the season with their roster, though, like I don't like their secondary a lot. Besides maybe one player, I think. Yeah, Jason Brett's out too.
He's a great start.
Yeah.
Hurts going in the great start. We've got some questions in the chat. AJ Val has a trade question for us. Just happened with Zeke in my league, wants to trade, but is asking for 2 of his running backs. He has DeAndre Swift, Damian Harris, Josh Jacobs, and Tyson Williams. Would you trade 2 of those guys for Ezekiel Elliott?
Jacobs and Williams easily. Yeah. You won't take it, but I would easily trade those last 2. I love Josh Jacobs, but if you're going to give me a free pass and let me take any 2 of my guys, those are 2 guys I'm dumping.
Yep. Those are the names that jumped out to me as well. John Luke, Josh, are there any other names you would consider out of that list?
I'd rather trade Damian Harris than Josh Jacobs.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think I would too.
Okay.
Yeah, I would package
but
2
not
of
Swift.
Any of those guys except for Swift.
It's really
Jacobs, Williams. Let them take their pick of those 3 guys, 2 of those 3, and I'd be fine with that for an upgrade to Zeke completely. We got one more question, or this one. We'll see if we talk about Tannehill today. So maybe I'll pick Tannehill next to talk about. And then also saying Dak is an automatic. So 2 more options to start and talk about there. Oh. And we have a question from Kyle back with another question for us. Jamar Chase or Antonio Brown rest of season in PPR. This one is tough.
I'll go Jamar Chase.
John Luke?
I might go AB.
I think I'm going AB as well. I just feel a little bit more comfortable with that offense. Don't get me wrong. It was exciting what we saw from Jamar Chase last weekend, but I'm a lot more comfortable with the Tampa Bay offense. I'm going to go with Antonio Brown. Peng, what about you?
I'm a Brown hater, but even I have to say Brown. You got Tom Brady and Brown. It's hard to hate a guy that's so good. He's so good. He just is. And that's it. That's for my person that doesn't like him. He's amazing.
Yep, I completely agree. Guys, we're going to talk about our next quarterback, and I said maybe Tannehill, but there's one guy I want to make sure we talk about. This is one that I think has to go in the must-start category for me, and that is Justin Herbert at home against the Dallas Cowboys. I know he didn't show up exactly what we wanted last week, but we saw what happened in the Cowboys game last week, how that defense looked. Herbert is at home with the weapons that we love. Williams, Allen. I expect this to be a high-scoring game. The Cowboys defense is still terrible, and Justin Herbert is going to show out. He is a must-start for me in this Week 2 matchup. John Luke, where are you putting Justin Herbert for Week 2?
I think he's probably a great start. I would rather start Hurts over him. But they're pretty close. So great start for me.
Great start for John Luke. Josh, where are you putting Justin Herbert?
I'm tempted to put him in a must start. I'm with you, Simon. He's a great start. He's a great start. But he's the top of the great starts for me, probably.
Top of the great starts. And Davis, where are you putting Justin Herbert?
I have him slightly ahead of Jalen Hurts, but I have his floor being worse than Hurts. So he's a must start for me just because I don't see a situation where the Cowboys don't make this a shootout.
Yeah.
We have 2 must starts and 2 great starts. Are we going tie goes to the guest or round up? Where do we want to put Justin Herbert?
Must start for me. Move him up.
Okay, we're going to move Justin Herbert up to the must start category in there with all those other names. John Luke, which quarterback would you like to talk about?
Yeah, let's talk about Dak. I think Dak is a must start this week.
Yeah,
he's 58 pass attempts last week on Thursday. I'm hoping, this is just going to be a very high-powered passing offense, so it's a must-start for me.
And I am Dalla agreeing with you there. Josh, where are you putting Dak Prescott?
He's also in the must-starts. I would start him above Herbert. So we've got a lot of must-starts this week.
But these are guys you're not going to bench.
Ends the list for me. That ends the list for me, personally.
Davis, where are you putting Dak Prescott?
Like I said, he's going to make every game a shootout because he exists. I think he's already on pace to break, once again, try to break the passing attempt record. And so it's a must start. There's no way in heck that I don't start him.
I have to start Dak Prescott as well. So we're all in agreement that Dak's a must start. Maybe we should have put him up there to begin with. Not much that we need to talk about there. John Luke, do you want to pick another one since we were all in full agreement on Dak being a must start?
No.
Okay. Then Josh, which quarterback would you like to talk about?
Yeah, let's talk about Aaron Rodgers. He's
That's
a
what I
great
was going to
start.
pick.
I mean, like, obviously, we got to talk about him. I think some people want to throw him right in the must-start section because he's playing a crappy Lions defense. But last week scared me, guys. And I do think he's going to blow up and he's going to have a great game. But I cannot put him in the must-start category because last week scared the hell out of me. Great start.
Great start for Aaron Rodgers from Josh. Davis, where are you putting Aaron Rodgers for week 2?
I'm going to get yelled at. He's a solid start for me. And only because the things that we have seen with Green Bay, and not even just with the Packers, right? It's just, for all you know, this is an Aaron Jones 2 rushing touchdown game, and now you lost 12 points or 8 points, depending on your scoring, right? Like, we've seen it before. Aaron Jones comes in there, does 30 points, and Rodgers is left doing nothing again. He's just, or A.J. Dillon. I feel like this could just be a game that it happens to be that. Or he passes 2 touchdowns in, and he is a genius. But I think this is actually a bounce back week for Aaron Jones, and whether or not that helps Rodgers or not, we'll see. Devontae Adams will get a bounce back. I don't know if it's 4 touchdowns worthy or 3 touchdowns worthy, which I believe all these must-start guys are. 3+ touchdowns easy.
Peng, I like that. I think it's bounce back for all the Packers this week. Yeah. I really do. I think they're gonna lay it on the Lions.
I'm hoping for a very solid game from Aaron Rodgers, and the only reason I would have to put him in the great start is 1, he's Aaron Rodgers, and 2, the narrative that it's this bounce back game against the Lions, right? Like, he's going to be vindictive and angry. But I'm trying not to go narrative based here. It scared me to death what I saw out of them last week against the Saints. And for that reason alone, until I see differently, Aaron Rodgers is a solid start for me. There are plenty of guys I would start over him this week that I would have not imagined last week making that call for. So he's a solid start until I see something else. John Luke.
I'm surprised, but I do not blame either of you two guys for putting him in solid.
John Luke, where are you putting him?
I don't either, but I'm not going to be as reactionary to week 1. He didn't look great, but I don't think that we're going to see that going continue. Aaron Rodgers is a seasoned quarterback. We know what we get from him. We've seen it's not like he's a rookie and we just don't have much of a sample size. I think he's going to come back strong, and this is a perfect matchup for him to do that. So I'm going to put him in must start.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at that.
Jail doing that to avoid the tie, that put them in the great start.
Great start, guys.
Jail gamed the system and put him in great start.
Jail. That's what I like to see.
Jail believes he belongs up there. And guys, you know what?
He believes that.
Before we move on to the dessert tiers, I think we have time to talk about a couple more guys. One guy I want to talk about that was brought up before was Ryan Tannehill. Wondering if they're going to have a bounce back week this week. Davis, we'll come to you first. What do you think about Ryan Tannehill in week 2?
I'm a Tannehill truther since the Miami days, man. I love that guy. I call him Ryan Manahill. The guy is such a beast. You know, he took so many hits. He was peeing blood at one point. He was still playing games. He was just amazing. And he played good last week.
That's not good.
But he straight up plays. I don't like the tone that he's injury prone because he's not. He's good. I think his O-line and his offense had a bad week, not him. Right? You can't do anything about popped up passes, tip passes, people dropping balls. That's not nothing to do with the quarterback.
So where are you putting Ryan Tannehill? Is he a great start, solid start?
Well, he's facing Seattle this week. Seattle's defense did look a little bit better than I thought they would. So he's at least a great start for me.
A little bit.
Great start.
Ryan Manahill. What he is.
Ryan Manahill.
And
I completely agree with you. I expect better weeks ahead from the Titans offense as a whole. That you said the Seahawks offense looked better than you thought. That Cardinals offense looked so much defense. Cardinals defense looked so much better than I thought they were going to look. I'm expecting a slightly better game for them this week for the Titans. I'm going to put Tannehill in the great start category as well. John Luke, where would you put Tannehill?
Sorry, really quick. Taylor Lewan got beat by Budda Baker, that's how bad that left tackle was last week. He got beat by a safety. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. The Arizona defense looked just ridiculous last week. They were just destroying Ryan Tannehill. It's not going to be as bad this week. I put him in great start as well.
So we've got 3 great starts. Josh, where are you putting Tannehill? Are you in agreement or are you knocking him down a tier or up in the must start category?
He's it's hard for me to say great start. I want to say like really good start, but I'll throw him in great start with you guys. Like I don't want to put him down to solid start, but like I'm fine putting him in my lineup, but I'm pretty nervous. I'm very nervous actually.
Where did he go? Oh, there he is. Couldn't find him down there. Before we move on to desserts, guys, are there any quarterbacks in here that would be surprise like emergency start or bench options for you? Any quarterbacks you're not wanting to start in week 2 that
Sam
maybe would have been
Darnold
starting options?
Concerns the hell out of me actually this week against the Saints. He's more of an emergency start for me than a solid start. So
does that have more to do with the Saints defense, the matchup, or with the what you saw from the Panthers week 1?
I liked what I saw out of Sam Darnold in the Panthers week 1, but I think Christian McCaffrey is going to be the focal point of this offense, and that could help Sam Darnold. You know, he's going to get a lot of dump offs and get some free yards, but the Saints defense is good. It's really the Saints defense which scares me off the most.
So Josh says emergency start for Sam Darnold. Davis, where would you put Sam Darnold this week?
Same thing. I think the Saints can make this a shootout, which will make Sam Darnold relevant. But he had a really hard time beating the Jets last week. I found that not really say hard time beating them, but he didn't put up 30 points like we thought he was going to do. You know, even with CMC, right? Like that score ended at what, 19, whatever it was, something low. It was kind of sad to see, honestly.
So where are you putting him in the emergency start category as well?
Emergency start, yeah. He's behind a lot of guys on this list.
Yeah, I'm somewhere between emergency start and solid start. Like I think Sam Darnold can go in your starting lineup this week. Like you said, Josh, I am encouraged from what I saw week 1, and that Jets defense I think is a little bit underrated. Like they are a decent defense. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and put Sam Darnold in the solid start. I want to give a little bit of confidence to people that may have to start him this week. I think you could do much worse than a Sam Darnold, so I'm going to go solid start. John Luke, we've got 2 emergency starts and 1 solid start for Sam Darnold. Where are you putting him?
He's emergency start for me.
Well, then I don't even have to do any math. That just puts Darnold down in the emergency start.
There you go. Yes.
I am Dallas says agree with emergency start. Lattimore out. Do we know is Lattimore out this week?
Is Marshawn out? Marshawn Lattimore out? That makes a huge difference.
He just got paid too.
Elite.
Can you imagine? He got paid that weekend. He's like, "Oh man, I'm out, guys." Like, "Oh, dude,
it's like, I can't. My tummy hurts.
Have to go heal in Cabo."
Okay, guys, unless there's any more names you want to desperately talk about, we're going to answer a start-sit question real quick and then move on to our dessert tiers. So last call for quarterbacks you want to hit up on.
He's supposed to have surgery Tuesday to fix chip bone and thumb.
Oh, so he won't be back for a little minute there.
Solid start.
That's crazy.
I want to talk a little bit about Matthew Stafford. Like
Matthew
I'm
Stafford.
surprised he's not in the great or must starts, and even a little bit of Derek Carr. But let's go with Matthew Stafford.
You like Derek Carr?
I like Derek Carr.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify
I actually
that real
picked
fast.
the Raiders to win, funny enough, on that Monday. And I actually guessed that was going to be OT. My buddies in the private chat will be able to prove it because I said, hey, there's a chance it goes to OT and we win our money on our prop bets. And we did.
I believe it. I believe you. I really do.
But Matthew Stafford, I think he's automatically a great / must start. I don't think we can see it any other way. He's so good right now.
He is so good.
He looked effortless. He literally looked like he didn't pay attention half the game. He was like, "Oh,
I know.
I'm on the field again, touchdown," and he goes back to the bench.
Yeah,
yeah. I'm looking at this list, and in my mind, he fits in more with the must starts than the great starts. Whenever I'm looking at the quarterbacks that whenever I'm ranking them, like I think he's right in that category, either the top of the great starts list or the bottom of the must starts. I'm gonna go great start just to create some stuff. Like I would rather start every single person in the must start category over him. So I'll go great start, but it is right on that line. It is right there. So I'll go 2. Davis, did you want to go great start or must start?
I want to go must start because of what Russell Wilson just did to the Colts defense.
There we go. John Luke, are you going?
Embarrassing.
What are you going for Matthew Stafford?
Yeah, I'm fine going must start. Actually, I'm really hyped for Stafford this year. I've been touting him all off season, and we saw him just dominate on the field last week. So I think we're just gonna see that going forward. I put him in must start.
Must start.
Yeah.
And Josh?
He's at the top of the great starts for me. I can't put him in the must starts because I completely agree with actually what Simon was saying. I'm starting all the must starts above him, and he does seem to differentiate himself a little bit. But I am excited for Stafford, but definitely over Tannehill. There's a question in the chat, so.
Well, we do have a tie there. We'll give it to the guest. Are we all in agreement? Stafford versus the Colts over Tannehill versus the Seahawks?
Yes.
Yeah, it's close, but yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree there. And NBA has a question for you specifically, Davis. What do you think about Wentz at home against the Rams?
I feel like this is at me because I drafted a lot of Carson Wentz. I can't start him. It was really gross last week. No receiver broke 50 yards. Like, I don't want nothing to do with that. Not one receiver broke 50 yards.
He's a bench for me.
He's a bench for me. He's a bench.
If we were doing the
very, very emergency start, hoping for a shootout. But even last week, it was supposed to be a shootout, and it didn't happen.
Yep.
Give it a few more weeks.
You guys there.
Give it a few more
But
weeks.
he is going to help out Nyheim Hines because he's just, hey, take it, Nyheim.
Hey, 5 yards. There you go, buddy.
Yeah, there we go.
Because before we start our dessert tiers, Big Gurns has a question for us. Mike Evans, Terry McLaurin, DJ Moore, Corey Davis. Should I start 2 and start Edmonds at flex or start 3? So
it's really Edmonds versus these wide receivers. Yeah.
Yeah. So which 2 wide receivers and then a flex would you start out of all of these options? Mike Evans, DJ Moore, and Corey
Davis. I hate this question.
Mike Evans and DJ Moore for sure for me. And then it is tricky who to start at flex. Davis or John Luke, do either of you guys have an opinion?
This is such a bad set of matchups. I hate Edmonds too, but I think you have to start Edmonds somewhere at least at your flex. DJ Moore, and then I'm tossing a toss up between all the rest of those guys. Like Corey Davis is gonna face. I think Corey Davis gets shadowed by Gilmore, which is tough. McLaurin is in a bad matchup. Mike Evans might get a rebound game today, just because he's a big guy. He might go 40 and a touchdown, and I think that's okay. If that's okay with you, then that's okay with me. That's the way I see it. So Evans, Moore, and then Edmonds.
I think I'm going to the first 3 wide receivers myself.
Evans, McLaurin, and Moore.
Yes.
Yeah.
John Luke.
Yeah, it's
tough. Simon Furr's up there, it seems like. But we are going Evans, McLaurin, and DJ Moore, right? You and me, JL.
Yep, I'm with you, Josh. I'm with you on that one.
That's what I'm talking about. We have Olympic Grind coming in here saying, where do we see Aaron Jones rest of the season PPR rankings? Do you think his season strength of schedule will push him outside the top 8? They really confused me putting ROS with SOS in there, rest of season, with strength of
classic
schedule.
Acronym issue.
Yeah, classic.
It threw me off too, man. You're fine.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one, to be completely honest with you. But when I'm looking at the rest of the season PPR for Aaron Jones, he's definitely still in my top 10 running backs. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, definitely top 10. I don't think I think Josh, correct me if I'm wrong, but you put him in your buy low targets, right, this week?
I absolutely put him on my buy low targets. If someone's just freaking out, then go and get him.
Yeah, I'm 100% with that. Aaron Jones is he's going to bounce back. Packers aren't going to have games like this often. I truly believe this is a fluke. Top 8. I mean, he was close to the outside of that before. I think at the beginning of the season, I had him around top 6, or maybe right around RB6. So I could see him just edging out of that, but I think he'll be fine. What do you think, Davis?
Oh man, I always start with I'm a hater. Okay, so
you're Aaron Jones hater.
I'm not a big Aaron Jones guy. He's helping win championships, so I do love him for that. He's always been a second to third rounder to me, at least a second. My thing with Aaron Jones has always been, doesn't matter strength of schedule, right? He's either in the games or he's not. It's either he misses games, he gets injured mid-game, or he just does a complete vanishing act. He's had, I want to say, at least last season, I know there was, during the finals or playoffs, he had like 2 or 3 vanishing acts where he just was completely useless to you and you started him every weekend and you lost. That's how Aaron Jones always is. Really high ceiling, really crappy floor. And this is kind of why I pitched Chubb more, because Jones isn't needed for the offense. He enhances the offense, but he isn't the offense. And so yes, he finishes at top 10, top 12, sure. But you're going to have some weeks where they're just ugly. And I don't think it matters who you play. It could be an easy defense. He just might not be on the field.
So let me ask you. I know you said it seems like you're a Chubb guy over Aaron Jones, and I'm fine with that. What about Joe Mixon, for example?
I drafted Joe Mixon, so I'm not the right guy to talk about it. I would draft.
I'm a big Joe Mixon fan.
Yeah.
So.
I had Aaron Jones ranked under Joe Mixon on my best ball, but not ahead of him in actual regular rankings because of what Aaron Jones can do. Aaron Jones can go for 40, right? Joe Mixon doesn't go for 40, but Joe Mixon is more likely to put up 12 to 18, like as an average per game. Like I said, Aaron Jones' vanishing acts are really tough to deal with.
Yeah, I'm still Aaron Jones over Joe Mixon, and I'm a huge Joe Mixon fan. So I think that's saying a lot. So they're both at this point in my top 10 running backs for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. My internet decided to fail out on me for a second there, but we are back and ready to rank some desserts.
We're here.
I've got a lot of desserts up there, so hopefully whichever ones you want to talk about are listed on the bottom here. We can zoom in and give you a run through of all of these real quick. We've got a bunch of desserts.
It looks like some good ones here.
Oh, there's some definite good ones up there. Try to get a good mix. Davis, we are going to start with you. Which of these desserts do you want to talk about first? It can be your favorite. It can be one that you want to absolutely bury.
All right. So this is actually kind of fun. You have it on here. Parfaits is something I've actually forget exists, but every time I have a good parfait, it like blows my mind. Like it's like, oh, like it doesn't exist to me until I see it. I'm like, oh, this is actually way better than I remember. Every single time.
It's many desserts for me. Like you just described so many desserts.
Yeah, I forget they exist until I eat it, and then I'm just like, wow, this is so amazing. I want it every day again. And then I forget they exist all over again. So parfaits, weirdly enough.
What tier would you put parfaits in? S, A, B, C?
It's a B for me because it's like completely forgettable, but it's good when you have it. And it's healthy. And it's healthy to top it off, which is funny as crap because I eat poorly.
B tier for parfaits from Davis. John Luke, where are you putting the parfait?
Yeah, I'd probably put it in B2. It's not anything like wild, but I love me some fruit and granola.
Yogurt, right?
Yeah, there's nothing unagreeable about a parfait, but there's nothing that would like really make me pick it over a lot of these. So the BC range is probably good. I'll put it in C, just like the epitome of an average dessert in my mind. Josh, where are you putting the parfait?
Parfait, it's almost not even dessert. Like it's you can eat that for breakfast. I feel like
you could eat all of these for breakfast.
Yeah, don't
No. Well,
yes,
yeah, maybe.
Yes.
I'll put parfait in the C category myself.
We had 2 C's and 2 B's. I say tie goes to the guest though. So parfait, you're going to end up in the B tier. And John Luke, you've got the next pick. Which of these desserts would you like to talk about? None of them have meat in them. Not a single one.
I'm going to go let's go with the Rita's Italian Ice.
I put that on there baby. Just for you.
S tier, baby.
Just no explanation needed.
Rita's S tier.
I completely
Why do I need
agree.
to explain something that's common sense?
Rita's Italian Ice. This was Italian Ice as a whole, but I picked Rita's specifically because they do it the best.
To try and bait me?
Oh my God, it is so good. And then when they mix it with their custard, the gelati.
Misto?
No, the gelati. With
the misto is literally blended all together.
Yeah, and that's the best.
No, the custard on top and the custard on the
You're
bottom.
You're wrong,
is
but
the
go
best.
ahead, continue.
But we're in agreement
I
S tier.
By the way,
Josh, are you going S tier or are you going?
Yeah, Rita's is S tier.
There we go. I was trying to not give you any other options.
I'm gonna stop there.
3 S tiers for Rita's. Davis, what about you?
Oh, you're asking me? Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's an S tier for me. Like I forget it exists, right? Custard and like ice. But then when I get it and I see it on the menu, it's an instant buy. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, like that's always amazing. This is better than almost any other choice out there. Sort of like one thing. It's so amazing. But I forget it exists. But I never actually had Rita's. I've had like the Hawaiian version and all this other stuff.
It's Italian Ice.
You got to try some Rita's.
Amazing.
It is so good. NBA saying dessert time, loving it, and dessert took over the stream. Yes, and Sam, I have bad news. Banana pudding is not on the list. I am so sorry. I forgot it. It didn't make the cut. We talked about Rita's. We talked about parfaits. It is my turn, and I'm trying to decide if I want to go good or bad here. Man, I'm going to go with what is probably my favorite thing on the list, and it is churros. I don't think there's a more perfect
That's not
dessert
what that was.
than the fried
was wondering,
cinnamon
I thought those were
dough
almonds.
I
of
thought
a
they were
French
churro.
fries.
They're just little churros. It was just a picture that I found. But churros are S tier. If there was a tier above S tier, they would be in that. They are so unbelievably good. I love them so much. It's like a donut, but better and easier to hold. Josh, where are you putting churros?
Guys, I gotta let you all know that I am a sucker for sweets. I love my sweets. That's why parfait wound up in C for me. It's not sweet enough. Churros are S tier. They're amazing. They're amazing.
2 S tiers for churros so far. Davis, where are you putting the churro?
Oh man, give me it at B.
B for the churro. Not a big churro fan.
I like them a lot, but if I have to eat something cinnamony, there's like better choices out there. Like, what is Cinnabons? Like, I would rather get that.
Oh,
right.
boy.
Like, I think of Cinnabons, and
Is that not on here?
No.
I'd rather have a churro personally.
What the hell is the matter with you?
What about a funnel cake?
Then you make the damn list. Sorry for the
Freaking pecan pie made it on here.
43 desserts I put on here, and I forgot
Yeah,
the
43
breakfast
of the wrong
cinnamon
ones.
roll.
And then like funnel cakes for me go even further. But like churros is like, and I always associate churros with prices. Like they're like really expensive for like a stick. So to top it off, so it really kind of annoys me.
If you get them at like a fair or a theme park, for sure, they are
Yeah.
overpriced and under deliver. But a good churro. So we've got 2 S's and a B. John Luke, where are you putting the churro?
Churros are S tier. One of the best combos. Go to Costco, you get a churro, and you get one of their mixed berry smoothies. Best combination.
Or the ice cream, you just dip it. It's good too.
So good.
Churros end up in A, though, with the 1 B vote. 3 S's and a B. Put churros in the A tier. NBA Rig saying custard with any dessert, the bomb. And can you dip churros with ice cream? Absolutely.
Why not?
You can. Absolutely, you can.
Maniac to not to.
We had a question real quick, guys, before we get to Josh's dessert. Marquis Brown versus Jacoby Myers, half PPR. It's Marquis Brown for me. Not close. What about you guys?
Marquis Brown.
Marquis Brown.
Jacoby Meyer.
Jacoby Myers from Davis. Why would you
Jeez,
start
buddy.
Jacoby Myers over Marquis Brown?
Just because I need to see more Marquise Brown being used more than one game. I even tweeted like he went 6 for 6, 69. Grats to him for 69 and a TD. Perfect, right? Amazing. But like we've been tricked before by Marquise Brown, so I need to see it 2 or 3 games, and that's fine. Jacoby Meyer and Nelson Aguilar are going to be peppered because that's all they can really do. And Mac Jones is only going to get better, so I kind of want that. I kind of want the obvious 1s and 2s on that team.
That makes sense. I was encouraged from what I saw from Marquise Brown, not just first game of this season, but shout out Troy King. He put some information out today showcasing Marquise Brown's last 5 games going into the end of last season. He's averaging 6 receptions and a touchdown.
He looks good
over those past 5 games. So I am, while I've been notoriously down on Marquise Brown, I would start him over Jacoby Myers.
I haven't pitched. I was hoping that Rashad Bateman would play, but no matter who played or not, I had him pitched to have his best season because he's no longer going to be the one. He's going to be the guy over the middle in the slot where he thrives. Shout out to Alex Ron's NFL for that. Like he had a great video about Lamar Jackson and Marquise Brown and where he would fit. And that's what we're seeing this year. So I'm hoping to see it.
Okay, Josh, which dessert would you like to talk about next from this list? If you need me to zoom in, let me know.
No zoom needed unless you want to zoom in once I say it, because these things are delicious. They belong in S tier, and they are eclairs. Oh my god, a good eclair, the chocolate and the cream and the yes, eclairs, S tier.
My wife would love you for that choice.
Yes, tell her all about it.
S tier for eclair from Josh Davis. Where are you putting the eclair?
It's an S tier. I had a whole buffet of them at my wedding. That's how much we love them. We paid for it. It was good. Me and my wife lost our mind. We ate a buttload of them.
Thanks for the invite, bro. Like, come on, man. Like,
you really do
associate.
You really do associate it all with prices. You're like, yeah, we paid for it. It is $8 an eclair.
They're not cheap.
It was so good though. We were testing them, and I'll put it this way: we were doing food testing for our wedding. The minute we bit into the eclair, we were like, "Oh yeah, whatever the rest of this," but like just a lot of these. we literally were like, "Yeah, that's just cute for like side stuff." But eclair section.
A good eclair is just next level.
Craig saying too much cream talk today so far. We just are some creamy boys who love our creamy desserts.
Ew.
John Luke.
Creamy boys.
John Luke, where would you put the eclair? We have 2 S tier votes so far.
You guys aren't gonna like me. It's F. It's F for the eclair.
Oh, we'll have to log out now.
it's like if you made a jelly donut bad, and they're already bad, so it's F.
Custard's so good.
And I never eat an eclair, never.
Interesting.
I'm sorry, Josh.
I do not hate it like JL. Like every once in a while, I'll like be at a coffee shop or something, and they've got eclairs. I'm like, oh, that looks good. Like I'll try that, and it's usually
First
good.
problem. You're only at coffee shops in the middle of the day. Why are you trying to eat eclairs in the middle of the day, bro?
You got time? What's the time constraints?
I just don't understand that.
How often do you go to a coffee shop at night?
Oh God.
I would.
Semi-regularly, not anymore since COVID, but when I lived in Atlanta, there was a coffee shop that was open till 3 a.m. and dessert shop that a lot of people would go to. So suck on that, Josh. I went 4 times in a year and a half. So how about that?
I've
never been to one.
Just kidding. Eclair is average for me. It's totally fine. It's going in C tier. So we've got 2 S's, a C, and an F, and that brings it up perfectly to the B tier. Your S's brought it up enough for Jalen and I not to be able to bury it. So the Eclair is going to end up as a B next to the parfait. You guys did this.
I'm sorry, but you all agreed apparently too.
It won't even let you put it in.
I even put it in the B tier. You guys still found a way to make a B tier.
NBA coming in saying Eclair has to be dipped in chocolate milk. That is one I've never heard over there.
I'll try.
Never heard of that.
Gary Baseball has a question for us. Can you join public ESPN leagues with more than 10 people? It won't let me. I don't know.
Probably it's already started, and if it's 10 people, probably won't let you add to 11, would be my guess.
Yeah, that's probably what's going on there. Davis, we are back up to you. Which dessert would you like to talk about now?
All right. So if I don't talk about it, my wife will see this and then she'll beat me. So I have to talk about root beer floats. It is S tier for me. It is quick. It's easy. Everybody has fond memories of it. You can have it in any scenario of life, whether it's watching a movie, whether you're at home, whether you're on your way home from work and you just got to go.
You're at like a 50s style diner.
Dude, it's amazing. Root beer floats are so good all the time. Even people that don't like ice cream, they'll eat a root beer float.
S tier for root beer float from Peng. John Luke, where are you putting the root beer float?
I'm going to put it in solid A. I almost never get a root beer float. I don't think I've had one in my adult life. I would love one right now if I could. But I feel like it's always I think that the thing keeping out S tier is that the idea of it is a little bit better than the execution I've had. So I'm going to put it in A tier.
A tier for JL. The only thing keeping this out of F tier for me is the float part. I don't like root beer. Like unless it's very good, like give me an A&W root beer, I would rather vomit than drink.
What if it's a Coke float?
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It's like a Sprite float is S tier, whereas a root beer float is F tier. So I'm gonna compromise.
Soda float,
and I'm gonna put this in C, and I'm gonna say the root beer float belongs in C, just because the ice cream foam that it makes is so cool, like the foam that sits on top. But it's C tier for me. Josh, where are you putting the root beer float?
First of all, Sprite float, ew. Yeah, a Coke float, like it's got to be a dark
orange soda float's pretty good too. Have you ever had that?
That would be like an orange cream soda. That sounds pretty good.
Really fucking good.
Anyway, root beer float's a B tier for me.
B tier for Josh. So we had an S, an A, a B, and a C. What does that bring it out to? That brings it out to a 2.5. So that'll go into the B tier root beer float. Going
I'm
down
sorry,
there.
Parfait. You have company.
NBA agreeing with me, saying root beer ruins dessert, and Jay saying Sprite float. What the hell
sounds
is that?
So weird.
I've had it. It's okay.
So Marty has a quick question for us, guys. Doesn't want to disturb the dessert talk, but Saquon Barkley or James Robinson half PPR?
Barkley. He's gonna catch a ton of passes.
Barkley,
at least, if he plays.
Good question.
That is a good question, though. Okay, John Luke, we are back to you. Which dessert would you like to talk about next from this list?
Let's talk about donuts. Simon always picks the strawberry donuts to trick me into putting them in S tier, and it's going to work. It's S tier.
I was about to kill you. S tier for JL for donuts, and that means I'm up next. Donuts are the 101 of pastries. They are so good. I love donuts, especially the strawberry frosted ones. But this is just donuts as a whole. I could eat donuts nonstop for every meal. I remember one of my girlfriend's favorite stories to tell is I called her one time to tell her I was starting to eat healthier. And she was like, well, Like, what are you doing to eat healthier? And I said, well, I cut out donuts. And she thinks that's a funny way to start eating healthier. But that's how much they mean to me. It is S tier. Josh, where are you putting donuts?
Donuts are solid. They're a B tier thing for me, right next to root beer floats.
B tier for Josh and Davis. Where are you putting donuts?
Oh, you're gonna hate me so hard. It's a D tier for me. I feel like donuts is something you get just because it's like something you're known to get for. Like, oh, we happen to be at a donut shop, we have to get donuts. It's all there's here, right? Like, if I was at a store and it had literally almost anything else, I would pick almost anything else over a donut. And you get it because it goes well with coffee. Like, that's it. And it's morning.
Man, you are lacking on the donut game. I got to take you to some good donut spots, Davis. We'll change your mind on that. But donuts end up in B tier as well, Jail. We couldn't do enough to get them higher.
Parfait.
So he's got tons. Parfaits started the trend, and everyone else is joining. Sam in here, I saw it earlier. He said he's starting MVS over Barkley this week, taking that home run shot. Sam, I would not, but that's I get taking that home run shot. But
I love that actually. I don't like MVS at all. But if MVS catches anything, and I mean literally anything, it's usually like 7 yards on a TD. And that's what he does. And I think, how many times did Rodgers target him last week? Like, more times than he targeted any other receiver outside of Adams. He catches, against a bad defense.
Don't do this. Don't start MVS.
But if he's trying to go fucking wild, yeah, why not?
Just no.
If that ends up happening, I'll cry.
Yeah, that would be wild. You're taking your shot, Sam. You're calling it and you're taking it. Vincent in here saying he's starting A-Rob over Saquon this week. I can get behind that. That's fine by me as well.
Fine.
Okay, it is my turn to pick a dessert, guys, and I'm going to talk about one that is special to me. I put it on here. I made the list, so I got to be in charge. We're going to talk about the stroopwafel. It is a Dutch wafer cookie full of like a cinnamony caramel on the inside, and you put it over like a hot cup of coffee, and the caramel gets all gooey, and it is so delicious. And the best smelling place in the whole world I've ever been to is a stroopwafel factory. I just had to put this one on there. It is beyond S tier. The stroopwafel is an elite cookie. I've never given one to anybody who said anything but like the best things about them. Josh, where are you going for the stroopwafel?
It's a B for me.
What?
It's a B. Yeah.
Okay, B.
Just what
for
it
Josh.
is.
Davis, where are you putting the stroopwafel?
This is something I forget that exists. But you're right. It is one of those when you get it, you smell it, you taste it. It's just like, wow, this is great. Why am I not getting more of these? So this goes to A tier for me at the very minimal because I don't remember it, but when I see it, it's in my hands.
A tier for stroopwafel from Davis. And John Luke, where are you putting the stroopwafel?
I'm with Josh. It's B.
B tier for the stroopwafel. So we had one S, two Bs, and an A. I believe that will bring it out to, it's a 2.25. So that rounds into the A category.
No more company for parfaits. Good.
No more company for parfaits on that one. Stroopwafel. I think the A category is just the cinnamon category is what it looks like. Anything with a slight cinnamon flavor goes in A. Josh, which dessert would you like to talk about?
I'll talk about how about s'mores? S'mores, they're S tier for me. Nothing really beats a good, like, you roast that marshmallow real good. You put some Hershey's on there with the graham cracker. Yeah, S tier for me.
S tier for s'mores from Josh. Davis, what about you?
F tier. F tier. It is such a pain in the ass to deal with. It's like you literally grab the crap, and then no, I don't want that kind of process. I'm like, oh, then I got to get it right. And every time you do,
but you're around a fire already, like.
When am I ever around a fire? Literally, like,
well, then when are you making s'mores? That's my question, sir. When are you making any s'mores?
I love Davis's energy right now.
So bad. It's so awfully bad. I hate graham crackers. Marshmallow and chocolates are fine. But
well, now we're getting to the crux of the.
Oh, I've never heard anyone
but
say
then, like,
I hate graham crackers.
And then it just goes. I don't know. And then you can't even melt the chocolate well all the time. So it's a hit and a miss. I feel like sometimes I'm just biting a block of chocolate with marshmallow. And it just feels so bad. It looks good. It is good in s'more flavored items. But the actual s'more itself, no. I would literally skip the dessert. I'd be like, oh, s'mores, I'm cool.
I would skip
Give me a parfait, please.
When am I ever around a fire?
Do you have any parfaits whenever he's sitting around a campfire?
I'll keep my parfait on this fire. Give me a sec.
Excuse me, Scoutmaster. Do we have any parfaits instead? John Luke, where are you putting the s'more?
I'm with Davis. This is F tier, man. S'mores are garbage. Why do you, like it's a block of chocolate?
Always a block.
And it's a mess. It's a mess to put together. It's too tough. Give me a pack of Skittles.
Josh, I'm sorry.
I'll eat a block of chocolate, you know.
I'm also putting s'mores in F
I'll just
tier.
eat the block of chocolate.
Just like as far as desserts go, I don't even consider them a dessert. I consider them like a campfire chore. Like it's something you're just like required to do if you go camping. Like I don't even enjoy it. I will say though, I almost moved them up a tier because there's a TikTok I saw recently where this kid just walks up to their mom and goes, "Sorry, mom," and spreads their hand out, and they have a melted marshmallow fully webbed between all of their fingers for making s'mores. But that's not enough. S'mores is F tier, and that ends up with s'mores in D tier, Josh, because your S tier was enough to save it from being dragged all the way to the bottom. Jay disagreeing with us, saying s'mores S tier, we're the literal worst. Anthony also saying s'mores are S tier. And MB saying, enjoy the block, Simon. Am I getting put up on the block for eviction?
You're getting blocked.
Oh, I'm being blocked. My head's in Big Brother mode. I thought you were putting me on the block to be evicted from the show. Guys, I think we have time to talk about one more. Tim questioning our coordination for making s'mores. You know what? That's a valid point. Doesn't change how I feel about them. Davis, we've got time for one more. Which of these desserts would you like to end on?
Oh, man. We're coming into
Jello.
fall. I was going to say talk about shakes, but shakes are my S tier. I'm not going to go for that. Let's go because we're going to fall pumpkin pies. How do you guys feel about pumpkin pie?
Sorry, it's not my turn yet. Davis, where are you putting the pumpkin
A tier
pie?
For me. I like pumpkin pies. I get excited for it. Put the whipped cream and stuff. A la mode is amazing with it, and so on and so forth. So we're getting into the fall.
Davis going A tier for pumpkin pie because of the fall. John Luke, where do you have pumpkin pie?
F.
Oh, I like it.
I'm sorry, C's, buddy, but it's F.
F tier for pumpkin pie from Dale, and it is F tier for me as well. Why does Thanksgiving have all the worst pies? Like sweet potato pie, pumpkin
Peanut
pie,
butter
pecan pie.
Peanut butter pie is
Apple pie?
delicious. Peanut butter pie is the only saving grace of pies.
There's all the fruit pies are delicious. Pumpkin pie is just like why? Like it doesn't even taste like pumpkin anymore. It tastes like you're just trying to mask the pumpkin to make it taste like other stuff. I absolutely hate it.
Jay has not voted non-S tier on a single dessert.
He's got our backs.
Josh, where are you putting the pumpkin pie?
Pumpkin pie is firmly in B tier for me.
B
Firmly.
tier for Josh.
Yeah, firmly.
So we've got an A, a B, and 2 Fs, and that puts it firmly in the C tier. Pumpkin pie and C is where we're ending off today.
Josh and Davis really are just balancing out Simon and my ridiculous takes today. This is super strong opinions.
Well, we
was
really
like-
all hated.
Yeah,
the
you
crap
gotta
out of
speak your
s'mores,
mind.
though. 3 out of 4
Speak your mind, you know?
really crap on the s'mores.
Dan Turner said, as expected, JL ruins everything. And Jay Wall agreeing with you, JL said, peanut butter pie is to die for.
Ice cream.
Tell it to my wife. She hates peanut butter, apparently.
Jay
What?
said, Cop Dad
I
likes
know.
desserts.
Teach their own.
No.
My dad hates peanut butter as well. He'll literally eat anything. Like I've seen him eat the grossest things on planet Earth, but put a spoonful of peanut butter in front of him and he can't do it. Just absolutely will not tolerate peanut butter. Isn't that bizarre?
That's how Josh feels sometimes. It's just too dry.
No, I love peanut butter. It's just on a tortilla. And that's it.
Yeah, where was
It
my
just doesn't
peanut
do it
butter
for me.
tortillas on this dessert?
I'm sorry.
I thought that was your breakfast like every morning, dude.
It is.
We're going to do a tortillas only tier list with all the different things you can put on them, like a cinnamon butter tortilla. That one's really good.
Peanut butter.
Play-Doh.
A Play-Doh tortilla. That one's really good as well. We'll have time to get this all together. Guys, to watch, contributing, helping us out with these tier lists. Davis for coming on today. If you guys are not following already, go follow him on Twitter at PengsPicksFF. Like we said at the beginning, he's always putting out some great best ball knowledge. So draft season is over, but that correlates to what he's doing during the season. And you guys can check out his fantasy 6-pack and on the Sports Me app. Dave, thanks so much for coming on today. I appreciate it.
Beep boop.
Sure.
All right. Thanks,
What
guys.
happened?
You were robot
no.
for like half of that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Trading does make fantasy fun, though.
It does.
It does.
I do
Yeah.
trade targets, by the way, funny enough. So I missed it this week, but I'll do it next week.
Check them out.
Trade
next week.
targets.
I do
Trade targets.
Yes.
Famous.
Well, apparently I'm cutting out like a robot. Am I good now, guys?
A
Yeah.
bit better.
Yeah.
a bit better. I'll try to get this sorted out before fantasy office hours. Hopefully we can get this working. But until then, guys, that is it for us today. We'll see you in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Adios, everybody.
Peace.
Bye.